What's going on, everyone? This is Dustin from Electrician U and Journey to Master, and today I want to let you guys know some big news. So right now Milwaukee is doing a contest, and we all know when Milwaukee does contests they don't go small. So Milwaukee is going to give away over $5,000 worth of their job site lighting, various different ones, small ones, big ones. And they're not just going to give some to some people and then, do $5,000 worth. They're going to give the whole damn thing to one person. So you get over $5,000 worth of all of their stuff. This is just a small sampling of the things that they've got. And I'm going to kind of talk about each one because I've gotten to use them recently. But this is a huge deal. So what their whole goal is, they're trying to figure out if there's somebody out there that's using really old, outdated stuff, like they've got incandescent old lights, or they've got like those job site floodlights where there's two heads and they got a little cage, and inside each one of the lights is like one of those straight quartz bulbs. Those quartz bulbs break all the time, or they stop working because they get so hot, or the switches on them no longer work, so you can't switch the lights on and off anymore. They're just old, crummy lights. So what Milwaukee's trying to do is get all of their stuff into somebody's hands and refresh their entire company, basically. It's all LED stuff, it's all battery powered, so it works off the 18 volt platform, or it works off of their 12 volt platform, but they're going to completely retrofit a company at the end of this month, October 2018. So right now it's like middle of the month, so there's still a couple weeks of it left, but they sent me all this stuff because they wanted me to kind of go through what was going to be involved in the contest. So that's it. That's just the gist of the whole thing. There's nothing you got to pay. You don't have to sign up for some special program or anything like that. All you do is you go to www.milwaukeetool.com. From there, scroll down a little bit. You'll see the Light the Site contest that they're doing. Click on Light the Site. It brings you to another page. On that page, you fill out all of your details. It's going to ask your name, your address, all the regular stuff that they're going to want to know, and you put what segment you're in. So this is not just for electricians. This is for plumbers, HVAC guys, carpenters. If you're in manufacturing, if you work in a warehouse, like anywhere that would really use lighting, there's a whole list. You can sit and scroll through all their different lists. I'm an electrician, so for me, I'm going to choose electrician. After that, there's a couple of different options where you can click, if you guys have the existing stuff that you have is like corded or cordless. And then there's even a section where you can click to add pictures. So like they want to see what kind of stuff you guys have to see what they need to update. So I would really highly recommend that you guys take advantage of that. I mean, if you're trying to sell somebody on doing something for you or giving you something, why wouldn't you put your best foot forward? Don't just fill the form out and not put any pictures, because you're probably just going to get passed over. They're kind of looking for a story, really, or a case to help. So put pictures in of the lighting that you have. If you're an individual and you're interested in this, you can enter. If you're a company, your chances are probably better. So this may be something you even want to just text your boss right now, or email him a link or her, so that they can fill this stuff out and get you guys registered. This is a huge deal, dude. Over $5,000. Oh, and one last thing. The cool thing about this form, I hate signing up for shit because I don't want to get random emails. I don't want stuff mailed to me all the time. There's actually at the very bottom a little checkbox where you can check to be opted out. So you can literally fill all this stuff out, click to opt out, and you won't get all their marketing and messaging and all that crap. You just want to be involved in the contest, and it's free. Dude, it's going to take you 5 seconds. Maybe it takes you a minute. Maybe it takes you 60 whole seconds out of your life to go in and try to win this contest. But dude, this isn't winning one battery. This isn't winning one little flashlight. This is winning every kind of lighting thing that Milwaukee has, and they're even going to sit and walk through what your guys' uses are, what kind of lights you want. You can go through their whole product catalog, and they're going to specify everything they send you based off of the tools you need and what you guys do. It's fucking dope, man. This is a really good opportunity. So either, if you want to right now, below in the description there is a link to Milwaukee Tools so that you can go and do all of this stuff and fill everything out. You can either do that right now, or you can keep watching, and I'm going to go through some of the different products that they sent for me to test out so that you know kind of what you're getting into. Either way, I would just do both. So first and foremost, what I'm going to start out with, I do tool reviews for those of you that are new to this channel and new to this this Dustin experience. Journey to Master or Electrician U are my two channels, but I do tool reviews on both of these channels, and so I've done a few of these before. If any of y'all recognize this little guy, this is called the Rover. This is a small enough light that you can still put an 18-volt battery out of it, so you get a lot of lifetime out of the battery instead of like a AAA or AA battery. It's got this twisting head on it, so you can set it up somewhere like that, or you can open it up, kind of like set it on the ground, and it looks like a little spaceman. Pretty cool. Some of the features about it are, it has this this little hook, I guess you could say, that you can hook this onto like a stud or onto a pipe or just anything where you're working, and it'll hang from it. But the other cool feature, which is probably my favorite, is that it's got magnets on it. This thing will actually stick to a steel stud or stick to a purlin or a beam or anything that you've got metal, or if you're up in an attic and you've got like a furnace and you just want to stick this to the side of it, it's a strong magnet. So this thing puts off a lot of light too. There's a couple different modes when you turn it on. You can have all of the lights on, and you can go full bright, you can go medium, you can go dim. That's pretty much it. You can't like light one of them and light four of them, but who uses that honestly anyways? Alright, so next on my list of badassery is another tool I've reviewed, or another light that I've reviewed in the past. I really have fallen in love with this the more and more I've used it since I did the review on it. It's got, again, a power button that you can turn on. The front of it, it has a forward facing option. If you hit the mode, it goes to an area light, so it lights all around instead of just one direction. I've actually brought this under houses, I've brought it up in attics, in equipment rooms. It lights up a lot. It gives you a ton of light in the area that you're working. It's more than ample for anything that I would need to use lighting for. It also has a little dimming feature on it, so you can pick your light levels. You can have high, medium, low. That's pretty much it. That is the Radius. Next guy I'm going to talk about, this is the Lantern. So the cool functionality about this is it's small enough, it's got little hooks on it just like most of the rest of their stuff does, but it has a forward facing as well as an area setup. So with forward facing, when you flip it around, you don't get that area lighting. It's all three of these bulbs facing forward, but you can twist it and get area lighting. I really like that. It's awesome. My worry with this thing, I haven't really used it to its capacity, so I feel like this could break very easily. It does have the hook so you can hang it from something, but there's no magnet on this, and I would really like there to be. I just use magnet stuff so often. The problem I see with that though is the weight of the battery alone. Like maybe this design would be really good with a 12 volt because the 12 volt batteries are a lot smaller and they don't weigh so much. So I think that, you know, you'd have to have a really strong magnet to stick this to something, or like stick it to the side because it would just fall off because of the weight. So that's the only reason they haven't done that. This thing has dim levels too. You know, you got your high, medium, and your low, and then off. Oh, another really cool thing is that it has a USB input. So a lot of USB stuff is being put into a lot of technology, a lot of tools lately, but it at least gives you a battery charger so that you can charge anything that you've got that's a USB, like mini USB or iPhone or anything like that. So neat feature. The next one is this beastaholic. This is called the LED Searchlight. So it looks like something the damn Coast Guard would have. It's got a little strap, which I'm probably going to tear off because I just don't like hanging onto things with straps or having things hang off of me. But this rotates fully. It's handheld like a lot of companies, you know, Rigid, Makita, Milwaukee, DeWalt. They've all got some kind of like handheld 18 volt or 12 volt battery operated light similar to this. But this one is beastie. I mean, it's just big. It has way more mobility in the range, so you can set this thing up and set it on the ground, and you know, while you're working in a panel or whatever, if you're a plumber, you're working on the ground, like you can work in the area that you're working and not really have to worry too much about hanging onto a light. This thing has a lot of versatility to it. No magnets on it. That would be another cool thing though, if you could take this thing and there was a magnet on this side and you could stick it to something, because not, you know, like this, it gives you pretty much 180 degrees, but it doesn't face down, which I know is kind of a picky thing, but if I'm doing something like this and I'm working down on the ground and I want to have my light flashing down, I suppose it's enough. I'm just being picky really, but I know myself well enough to know that if there was a magnet on the front side of this, I would stick it to something and face it down. Because let's face it, not every one of us is going to have every single one of these kinds of lights, unless we win the contest, right? Am I right or am I right? So having magnets on whichever one that somebody's going to buy when they go to Home Depot would be a good idea, because maybe this is the only one they have. They don't have this one where they can stick it onto something. So that's just my personal opinion. I'm not trying to rip down any of their tools. I'm saying, like, when I review a tool, I try to thoroughly review it. I try to use it and figure out what I like about it and what I don't like about it, so I can give you an honest review, not some biased review because some corporation wants me to represent their product like I'm a NASCAR driver. So, next guy on the list. This thing is cool as shit. I call this the lightsaber. I don't know what it's actually called. What is it called? It's called the underhood light. It's named aptly so because what it comes with is this expandable stick. This thing latches onto the hood of your car, and you put it on the underside of your hood. And when you turn the light on, you get all of this light. And it's got some dimming modes, like you can, do medium. Well, it's pretty much high and low, I think. Yeah, I don't think there's a medium, just high and low. But it casts down an entire area of light that you're working on, rather than having those crappy little hook, things that you have an incandescent light bulb in and you hook it on and it kind of shines in one direction. This is specifically made for working on vehicles, so this is a cool thing to have, but I, as an electrician, I'm never going to bring this to a job site. It's just too hokey. But what I do use it for is when I'm hanging out with my kid, we have lightsaber wars. So I'm always like chasing them down the hall. So that's pretty cool. This one works on the 12 volt platform. Everything else here that I have is the 18 volt, with some of the exception of some of the smaller stuff that I'm about to talk to, where it's AA or AAA powered. This thing also, almost forgot, has a little hook on it too. So if you do want to hook it from something and hang it from something, you can. But the neat thing is, when you're working on your vehicle, like, you can still turn it as well. So pretty well thought out. I think it's a great thing for the automotive industry. The next crazy beast that I'm going to talk about is this dude. Okay, so this is the larger style of the radius of this. This thing is a beast. It's very large. Like, as you can see, it's like the size of my torso. When I originally saw these on the website, I didn't think they were this big. I thought this was just a little bit taller version of this thing. No, it's huge, as you can see. So when you turn it on, it's got an area light mode, and that's most of the time what you're going to use with it. This thing lights a huge area. So whereas this thing lights up quite a bit of an area, this does a much better job further, and it lasts longer and it lights further. If you can see down here on the bottom, it uses 2 batteries. So you can stick 2 18 volt batteries. Right now, I've got 2 9 amp hour batteries, so that's 18 amp hours because they wire them in parallel. They don't put these in series, so you're not getting 36 volts when you stick 2 batteries in. You're still getting 18 volts, but since it's in parallel, you're doubling the amperage, so you get 2 9 amp hour batteries. That's 18 amp hours worth of battery life, which, all that's to say, the batteries are going to last a really damn long time. This specific one has 1 key, which is a Bluetooth technology. A lot of these brands, DeWalt, Milwaukee, Rigid, they're coming out with this. Well, theirs is called 1 key, but it's basically a way for your batteries and the tool to be able to Bluetooth to your device, so you can manage data on your tools as well as find them if somebody takes your shit. You can have like a GPS, not GPS location, but you can log on and see what's going on with your tools. Very, very cool. A lot more expensive, but everything that's new technology is more expensive. So what do we have? We have a different mode, so you can take the front side of this off, but it still lights through the top and through the sides. If you don't need to light an entire area and you want something that's just kind of one directional or one, facing in one way, it's also a way that you can control like a quick dim. You can have it full or bright, or like less bright. But you also have dimming here, so you can turn off sections one at a time and go all the way to dim. And I guess you're not turning off the sections, you're just dimming the light. You know what I'm saying. So that's the way that they control dimming. What else does this have? This has the ability to hook 110 volt power up to it, so you can run an extension cord to it if you're going to be working all day and you don't want to kill 2 of your batteries, because 2 batteries is, for the work we do, we always need our batteries. So you can plug this to 110, run it from a T-pole or a possum somewhere in the building. And then the cool thing is, on the other side, it has a female 110 volt as well. So you can run another extension cord out of this one, and you can start daisy chaining several of these together throughout a building. That way you don't have to run them on power, but you can still get site lighting pretty much everywhere you're at. Or you just have 110, so if you want to plug a charger in or put a splitter and put, you know, all of your stuff where your light is, that's another thing. So it's just really versatile. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with this. Now, as far as carrying it, this thing's stout, so I mean, it probably weighs like, I don't know, like 20, 25 pounds, something like that. I'll look at the specs and put all that below. But the handles, how you carry, you kind of have to carry it like this. It does come with this back handle, but I find that, I don't know, it's just a lot to carry. So one downside, or one thing to think about, is that this is going to take up space in your truck or your van, and it's pretty heavy. But if you need light in a large area and you're working in a dark building, dude, it's a no-brainer. What else do we got? This thing is called the Rocket. I'm hoping that you can see the light up here on that. This is more of like a spotlight. It shines in one direction. It has, you know, medium, low, high. It has 3 different dim levels. But the cool thing about this, it seems very, very large, and it is, but there's a way to compact it so that it's relatively small, and there's a way to extend it so it's really big. So on the back side here, it's got a handle with a button. That button allows the bottom to fold up, and then these little things allow it to extend or contract. You have to fold this in for it to go all the way down. But if you want it back up, just flip that out, set these guys to the desired height that you want. The height will go up to like 7 feet. Again, I need to check the specs on it to see what the exact height is, because I don't want people out there complaining that I gave bad information. But it's like, you know, taller than a 6-foot ladder. I did this in one of my bedrooms, and it went almost all the way up to the ceiling. This thing extends way high. This model of the Rocket has just a single battery that you put in it, but there actually is a model that they make where you can do what you do over here, where you take 2 18-volt batteries and slap them in, and then you've got as much time on it as the amp hours of your battery. So that's pretty cool. All right, so now I'm going to move on to some of the smaller stuff. This is all of the big stuff that I have right now. Like I said, they have some more things out there. They're not here that I have to talk about them. So this little guy is just a little pen light, but I use this quite often. We wear polo t-shirts, so I've got like the 3 buttons right here, and I like to slide this thing in between them and just keep that there all day long. And then if I just need some quick light, you know, I don't have to bust my phone out and try to do the light feature. I've just got it on me all the time. It's like I keep a knife on me at all times. Of course, I don't have one on me right now because I'm doing a damn video. Aha, just kidding. Yeah, anyways, I'm from the country, so I was born and raised roaming around, you know, on 40 acres every day. Just something about being born and raised in the country, like we just always keep knives on us. Always had pocket knives since I was a kid. I used to like collect knives. Anyways, so just like always having a knife on me, I generally like to keep a light on me as well. Just gets you in and out of situations. We're always dealing with dark situations as tradesmen, especially electricians. So this light is really, really handy. The one thing that I think is a miss on it that I really wish it had was some sort of magnet. I'm always putting these things, like trying to stick them to something metal so I can just keep it held somewhere so I can be hands-free. The thing about having to hold a light is that, you know, like I can't hold a multimeter in my hand and do stuff with, because I always have to have one hand, you know, holding a light. So anyways, that's my one critique. If you made this thing a little bit longer, maybe you could afford to have like a magnet in there that would magnetize this entire thing. That's just my personal preference, though, but I think that it's just kind of a missed opportunity. Otherwise, it's a great light. You know, it puts out a lot of light. I like to go up to my wife in the dark and just be like, pow, right in her eyes. Pisses her off a lot, so she fucking hits me, but it's a good light for that. Next thing on my list is this dude. This thing's pretty cool. This one is magnetic. It's essentially the same thing. I mean, it's also got like a little deal that you can clip on to whatever. Like if you got a necklace or lanyard or something like that, you can hook this on and leave it hang, but that is going to sit and swing back and forth. So it's not going to like really keep it in one spot. But the cool thing is it does have a magnet on it, so I can at least stick this onto a AC unit or stick it onto something metal when I'm in a dark environment, and it really works. This one particularly only has a bright and a dim, and then it's off. So again, there's no need to have like 3 or 4 levels of light. We're always going to just want to use 1 or 2. Next one, I'm going to talk about both of these at the same time because they're essentially the same thing. These are for your just like headlamps, but they're also for putting on your hard hat. These both come with a set of 4 of these clips. These clips actually go on this band. You can take something like this and you can slide it in those spots, and that actually holds this on your hard hat. A lot of people will get in the habit of just taking zip ties and they zip tie the band around. I've done that in the past. They try to drill into them and then OSHA yells at them because they're like putting screws through their fucking hard hat. We've all been there though. But it's just neat. They come with these clips, so you can do that and actually do it right. This one is, I believe, 475 lumens, whereas this one is 300, maybe 325. I think it's 300. Still very bright. This one has 3 different options for it. So you can have a single light, you can have 3 lights, or you can have, it's blinking at me. It's blinking to let me know that it's about to die. That's a cool feature. Anyways, sorry, 2 lights, 3 lights, 1 light. Also has on, off, dim levels. Stuff that I'm just never going to use. It's just way too many options to sit and cycle through. Kind of more annoying than anything. This one's got a lot of bad reviews on it just because of the, I guess, the battery life on it, having to have to take it apart to change out batteries, and then the length of time that the light stays bright. After a while, it starts getting dim and dim and dim, and the thing just turns off on you. So as an electrician, I'm always using several different kinds of batteries, and it's kind of a pain in the butt to keep up with all the batteries because not only do all my tools have their own specific batteries, but every little LED light that I've got has AAA batteries, so I got to keep a stock of them. And then my tick tracers and some of my testers have AA batteries, so I got to keep a whole grip of them. And then I have multimeters that take 9-volt batteries, so I got to keep a bunch of those. You know, it's just a pain in the butt to keep up with batteries. So I really do like that this has the micro USB charger in it. One thing I've found, I can't say about this specifically, but a lot of lights, you have to be careful when you're using a micro USB whether or not your charger is specifically made for that application, because sometimes you can feed too much current to these while they're charging, and they end up just reducing the longevity, the life of whatever it is you're charging. It overcharges too often. Or a lot of times it undercharges if you're not using something that pushes enough current into it. It takes forever to charge, and you're like, I just charged on that charger. Why is it taking so long on this? It's the same thing, really. Well, it's not. You have different current that's flowing to charge each one. So just be cautious about that. I'm not saying that this is, if you put the wrong charger with this, it's not going to work. I'm just saying I've run into other tools, other lights, things in the past that it's screwed them up, and even iPhones and things like that. So one thing to just be cautious of. But back to the point I said a second ago, I think is really, really cool. Almost all of these lights have this thing where if you turn them on, oops, let me do that again. It sits and blinks at you. Now, what's really awesome is, say you have one of these big lights, or you have, you know, like this radius. This one does it as well. So does this one. I don't know if all of these do it. I'm sure that they probably do, but it's a feature that Milwaukee has built in as like a timer. So when the battery life gets to a certain point, these lights will blink at you a couple of times, and they'll stay on. And then after a couple minutes, they blink at you again, and they stay on. And then after a while, they just shut off. But it's cool because most of the time what we're used to out in the field is a light just shutting off on you when the battery dies. There's no warning or anything, so if you're working in a live panel, all of a sudden the lights shut off, or if you're working with something over your head and you're hanging onto something heavy, the lights shut off and you're screwed. You know, you can't see anything, so you're completely in the dark. So the idea that these guys actually put some thought into that and they give you warnings on all of their tools, I think is awesome. It's just one more thing that they've done to kind of step it up a notch above everyone else. That's it. That's all of the stuff that I have. Pretty badass. I know that none of the other tool companies are doing this, so you're not going to be able to go see Rigid or Makita or DeWalt or Bosch or any of these other companies that make stuff. Cobalt, if you're a Lowe's guy. You're not going to be able to see this kind of versatility in lighting. Milwaukee has their own lighting department. That's all they do is lighting. When I went to the THD program, the THD Perspective program, when I went up to New York in April, each tool company had their own booth set up where they all had their drills and they all had their sawzalls and they all had their vacuums and they're this and they're that. But these guys, Milwaukee, are the only people that had their own lighting booth as well as their tool booth. And so it was dark and you got to go in there and they had every kind of light possible, and it was very impressive. These guys have been just like on the ball with sending me every new technology that they send, and I've been so happy with all of it. They've got like unibits that are meant to be put in impact drivers. They've got like heated jackets and heated gloves that have heating elements inside of them. They're just like, they're constantly innovating and trying to get out new stuff. So I'm so damn impressed with this company. So I hope you guys are too. Leave some comments below if you're like a pro Milwaukee guy or gal. If you have any of these and you've used them, if you like them, if you don't like them, like let me know, and let the people that also watch this channel know, because it's just good to share that information with people. Take part in this contest. I'm dead super serious. This contest is a big deal. You know, Milwaukee always does it big, so they're going to give over, again, $5,000 worth of this lighting. They're going to like replicate what you're seeing here like 5 times in a pile for you, for one lucky winner, which I think is really cool. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Again, if you're new to the channel, please definitely check out, you know, I have all of these episodes basically just talking about electrical stuff, talking about being a tradesman. Electrician Use a little bit more. It's my other channel. It's a little bit more electrically specific, you know, like how do switches work, how do plugs work, how to wire a 3-way, stuff like that. It's a newer channel, so I don't have as much content on there, but I'm always putting new content on. So check those out. Love you guys. Peace out.